Hey, it's Terraform Time. I'm Jose Antonio Reyes, Senior Innovation Engineer at PagerDuty and PagerDuty Terraform Provider Maintainer. Okay, our today topic is to move on with our implementation of PagerDuty Incident Workflows to automate incident response task. But before moving forward, I would like to do a quick reminder about our weekly schedule. Um, Terraform Time is being streamed every Wednesday at 4 p.m. and 1 p.m. Pacific Time, and it's being streamed through our Twitch and YouTube account simultaneously. Uh, as always, you can reach out to us through our email community-team@pagerduty.com, and I really encourage you to without further ado, let's do a quick recap in our last week episode where we were delving into incident workflows configuration. I shared with you this GitHub repository where we are going to be publishing the code samples that we are writing through the Terraform Time episodes. So this week, I'm going to continue with the same workflow. I'm going to make a copy of this folder because this was the last week folder or the last week code, because we are going to continue. I'm just going to copy this folder and start from there. So switching to my development environment, this is where I already have the repository downloaded. As you can see, I have this same folder here, and as I said, I'm going to make copies of this. Sorry, I almost forgot to say this. I'm going to say that it's going to be almost the same, but this time it's going to be 422. We are ready to go. And now I'm going to switch to that location, 22. Okay, we are going to start from here, Terraform state. We already have a state here, but I didn't mean to save the state previously. So let me check if this state is valid, because if it is, I'm going to delete this file from here and from the other directory, and just ignore the Terraform state files from the repository source. So to check that out, I'm going to check the state, Terraform state list. We don't have any state. But if I happen to create some resources and commit the code, I will have the state recorded here. Because let's check that out. State. No, I can't. Terraform state. Yes, the state is being recorded here. So I'm going to ignore or add the entry for the state to the ignore list of this GitHub repository, because I really don't want to record the state. So let me check this. Git ignored. It's been traced, but I'm ignoring it. but I know why. This has been, let me check something. Oh, look at that. Sorry about all that I said, but I'm seeing the state here because it is in my local computer, but in my computer, but it is not being tracked because it is already on the GitHub file. Okay, so sorry about that. As I said, we now have this main.tf file. I'm going to enter in the main.tf file. This is where we got the last week. We managed to create the incident workflow, to add a manual trigger and a conditional trigger for triggering this incident workflow on incident which the priority of P1 or P2. Just to be on the same page as last week, I'm going to apply this configuration to my PagerDuty Sandbox account to continue from there. So this terminal down here is where I'm going to be applying the entering the Terraform commands. So I need to change to cd 22. Okay, so here I'm going to say Terraform plan. Okay, this is, as I said, it's going to create an incident workflow for major incidents and 2 incident workflow triggers. So let's apply this. Terraform apply. Let's say yes, because this is the same plan that we just saw. Okay, now I'm going to switch to my PagerDuty Sandbox account, which is this. If I refresh here, because I was already on the incident workflows section. If you want to, if you are in your PagerDuty account and you can't find where incident workflow configurations are located, you need to go to Automation tab, Mobilize, and Incident Workflows, and you will get here. This will be empty, only with the template proposals, which you can use to start experimenting with incident workflows. And not only experimenting, because these templates here are very useful in their own, because what we are doing right now is to translate this major incident workflow template into Terraform code, but you can also use any of this as manual or conditional triggers in case that you want to have a backup workflow to add a collaboration, all the to handle all the tasks related with collaboration through this incident workflow, and all the tasks related with adding important stakeholders with this incident workflow. So if it's your first time dealing with incident workflows, I encourage you to try to use these templates, because they already are very valuable. So this is our configuration. This is the one that I just created. So I'm going to continue from here. I create this with the Terraform code, and as I showed you, if I switch back to the Terraform configuration, Let me split the layout here to compare the Terraform configuration with the actual configuration on PagerDuty. What we are checking right now is this conditional trigger. In this section, you will find the triggers, and down here, all the actions that will be triggered once the incident workflow starts. So let me, okay. Look at this. Just to do a quick recap. In the incident workflow resource, which is this one, is only responsible for setting up the name of the workflow, its description, and all the actions. But the actions are inside this configuration block called step. Each step will contain the configuration for the action. So every action you will every action you see on the actions section of your incident workflow is can be directly translated or interpreted as an step inside the incident PagerDuty incident workflow Terraform resource. As you can see here, in fact, the word action is it's inside the step, but this is more related with the action ID. I know that we can maybe use a name here more a name more related with the action ID itself that we need to assign here. But remember that the Terraform provider should be a representation of our public REST APIs, and this is the name that each of these attributes has on the PagerDuty REST API. So getting back into this, the PagerDuty Incident Workflow resource is again only responsible for setting up the actions. And if you want to set a trigger of any kind, you need this additional resource, which is called PagerDuty Incident Workflow Trigger, to set manual triggers and conditional triggers. Okay, I wanted to describe here what is the scope of this incident workflow before moving on. So I'll go ahead and do that right away before moving forward, because what I want to I want this incident workflow to do is the following. I already have here, this is the documentation for the incident workflow product. Give me a second. Okay. And down here, and okay. Now these are the triggers, actions, add action. Okay, more specifically in the available actions section, you will be able to find the available actions for incident workflows. At the beginning, they were fewer. Right now, we have more actions available, like reassigning the incident and running automation actions. This particularly is an action that I want to visit in the future, because it's very exciting what you can do through automation actions. So I'm planning to visit this in the future, and to work on this through Terraform code too. But right now, what I want to um, to add to this incident workflow will be add a conference bridge, add stakeholders. We are already adding an Slack channel that it's already covered. And what else? And send status updates. So I'm going to list that here. First step will be, oh, let me put this as a comment. Scope uh, steps of the incident workflow will be one, to add stakeholders. Additionally, yes, create an Slack channel. Additionally, yes, and send status updates. Yes, send status updates. For major incidents, it's a good practice to have a specific team or escalation policy in order to make aware the um, the people the people that can help you in case of a major incident, even though they are not on call, or their on call is with they are on call with other services. So yes, let's add that here too. So let's put here at stakeholders, but also, or let's do it like this, add responders. So I need to do following. Okay, with this, we are ready to go. So we already have one of this, which is creating an Slack channel. So let's move on with add responders. For adding responders, again, the steps are the following. First, locating the action for adding responders on the list actions API. List actions API is, let me open here this. Incident workflows, list actions. Through this API, okay. Through this API, you can list the available actions and its latest version for each value. I already did that on my Postman. I already list the actions available. Let me run this again. Okay, this is the list of available actions. So I suggest you to take the name of the action, like add responders. Oops. I need to do the following. Oh, this. Oops, what happened? Okay, here. Something weird happening. Okay, don't worry. So I'm going to take the add responders and look for it here. And if I look for add responders on this JSON output, there are 2 matches. And remember, there are 2 matches because each of these actions are versioned. The first match is for version 1. I encourage you to use the latest version, which in this case is version 2. There are only 2, apparently. Yes, there are only 2 because if they were more, they will be like consecutively, and the end of the list is too far away. So I'm pretty sure that they are only 2 versions. So what you are going to use to configure the action into the incident workflow will be this ID, the ID of the action. You will need this. And in the Terraform code, you will need an additional step. This will be the first step, and the name will be, I also recommend you to use the same function, the same action name, which in this case is add responders. You can really put whatever name you want here because it's open to be customized. But in order to make it easier to find it on the list actions API, I'll be using this till we have a data source for grabbing the actions ID. So the action ID that I need is this, and I'm going to put it here. This is the action ID, and we will need to set the input. Look, the input available is not like customizable. It is it will depend on the input described, the inputs available described by the action itself on its API. So the version 2 of add responders action have these inputs available, and some of them might be required, and to know if some of these inputs are required, we have this flag here, this field. These aren't required, but this is required in fact. So we need to add the input name. This input is called responders. And the name, this is the input that you will need. This is the value that you will need to put here, the same value of the name, and the value will depend on the type of input. In this case, it's a JSON input. For this, yes. In fact, this is the only required. Let me check this. Yes. No, I can't. This is the only required input that we have. So we need to set the value here, needs to be a JSON value, and what you will need to put here will be the IDs of the responders, which can be they can be users, but also escalation policies, if I am correct. Yes, look at this. Add responders actions allows you to add users or escalation policies as responders. Okay, as user, I already have a user. Sorry if I moved the screen suddenly, but I already have a user here, but I'm going to add a new user, yes, which is going to be called user. This is going to be major incident, major incident responder, and its name is going to be major incident responder, and its email is going to be major incident responder that at food at test. And yes, with this we can add a responder, but additionally I would like to add an escalation policy with the same purpose, which is major incident escalation policy. This is, oops, let me, escalation policy, okay. Again, major incident escalation policy, and its name is going to be major incident escalation, major incidents escalation. It doesn't have a theme. Let's create a theme too, real quick. Major incidents theme without a, let's keep the description. Major incidents response theme, and major support for major incidents. Okay, we already have a theme, and let's add here as escalation policy. Okay, the theme is going to be PagerDuty team major incident. This one. And right now it's targeting the user, major incident responder. All the rest of attributes right now are out of the scope of what we are doing. So I'm going to ignore the rest of attributes and just keep it like it is. Okay, so what we want to add is responders JSON. And for that, the recommended way to use JSON configurations into Terraform code is to use the JSON decode Terraform function, because you can actually do something like this, which is JSON here docs. JSON here doc is something like this. If I can remember the syntax, sorry, thought it was something like this. I can remember. Let me look for the Terraform Quick Start repository. Oh, it was there. Incident workflows. Okay, yes, it was like this. You can do something like this, which is using here docs, and write down the JSON right here using plain JSON syntax. However, if you made a mistake with that JSON, that will that will make your Terraform code to fail. So in order to avoid that, you can use the HCL representation of the JSON that you want to pass in to this value, but using a Terraform function which is called JSON encode. Let me put this back here, and it's going to be JSON encode, and here you can pass in the values. And this is an array. If I remember correctly, this is an array. Yes, it's an array. That array has other JSONs in it. So you need to use, again, JSON encode. Here you can pass in, let me help me a bit with this. You can pass in the ID. We don't need to, no, we don't need to use quotes. So the ID will be PagerDuty. I'm going to assign first the escalation policy, PagerDuty escalation policy. That, let me grab the name here. Back to where we were. Okay, this is the ID. And the type will be escalation policy. Yes. So with this, we should be ready to go. Yeah, JSON code. Okay. With this, we should be ready to apply this configuration, adding this escalation policy to the add responder step or add responder action. So I'm going to do just that and enter here Terraform apply. Okay, Terraform escalation policy, PagerDuty escalation policy, the root module. It says yes. Major incident. This is not necessary. No. PagerDuty escalation policy. Let's write this as a JSON. And here, no, I'm going to use string interpolation. No, I can't use a string interpolation, but just debug this. No, it seems like it's not possible. Let's see what happened. Okay, again. Now it says, why is this? Okay. Let me comment this out. And I know what's happening. Okay. Yes. Give me a second. Okay, now I should be able to use this ID. No. I thought that it was a dependency, resource dependency issue, but it is not. Manage resource. PagerDuty escalation policy has not been declared in the root module. How am I doing this here? Okay, I'm doing this. This is the same. Look, this is an incident workflow configuration that I did for that I did as an example for the PagerDuty Terraform Quick Start. But here I utilize a here doc to enter directly the JSON. But let me check out the Terraform JSON encode documentation to check if I am doing something wrong, maybe, because it's weird that isn't working. JSON encode. Encodes the given value to a string using JSON syntax. Yes, it's the same. JSON code will take this HCL representation and make it and generate the sanitized JSON string from it. Apply JSON encode. What could be going wrong? JSON encode. Let me test this way, like this. No. It says that this resource escalation policy this PagerDuty. Oh, look at that. My bad. This is the issue. A typo. PagerDuty underscore escalation policy. Okay, let's apply again. It's working now. Okay, yes. Okay, let's check out the result. I'm going to refresh this. Now we are adding. Okay, great. Look at this. Now we have this action of adding responders, and the responder is the major incident escalation policy. This is the message that will be sending to the people on call from this the people on call on this escalation policy. We can also customize this template. In fact, we can take this as an inspiration and just customize it wherever we want to send a more appropriate message to the responders that are being added to the major incident. So now we have the first step. Now we need the second step, which is adding stakeholders. I'm going to copy this and put this here. And next step is going to be add stakeholder. And again, I'm going to switch to my Postman where I have the JSON with all the available actions. And I'm going to look now for add stakeholders. Again, we have 2 matches for this name. I'm going to look for the second one, and let me check down here. The next one is create dedicated chat in Microsoft Teams. This is other action, but this is the one that we are interested in, which is the latest version 2 of the action. So for this, I'm going to switch. Oops. So in my editor, I'm going to change the name of the action. I'm going to add this, add stakeholders. I'm going to copy the ID. Okay, this is the new ID. And now let's check out the inputs available. Is required. This is not required. But even when it's not required, you can also leverage the available inputs to customize it in favor of your use case. Because in this case, the incident ID input will allow you to set the ID of the incident to be edited. Maybe you have long living incident. No, that such a thing doesn't exist. But right now I can't think on an example for this. But the assigned user ID, yes, you can have multiple assigned user IDs here, but by default it has the incident assignee as the assigned user ID for this particular input. We are looking for the stakeholders one. This is the input that we need to update in order to add the stakeholders that we want to loop in the to make aware, sorry, of the major incident happening. So I'm going to change this and say stakeholders. This is the input that we want to update. And again, this is an input of type JSON. We already have like our template here of how to do it. However, for the stakeholders input, the available values or the allowed values will be, this is not very descriptive, but it says the specific stakeholders to be added as subscribers. I won't rely too much on this description because it is not like very helpful, but I will rely more on the product one, because the add stakeholders says subscribe. Look at this. It's quite different and much more helpful, because this is the actual action which is happening, or which is going to happen, which is subscribe teams or users to status updates. So this means that you can only subscribe team IDs and user IDs to the stakeholders input. So here, what I want to add is PagerDuty team. For the team, I'm going to head to the team's definition, because I add this team was already here, but this is the new one. So I'm going to grab the name of the resource, PagerDuty team, and its name. I'm going to change it here. And here I'm going to change this to team, because this is a team. So with this, I'm going to apply the configuration again, Terraform apply. Let's check out the plan. Okay, it says that it's going to update this, but we'll add this new this is okay, because is changing the order of the actions, but this is what is actually happening. Where is it? Channel name. JSON code. Oh, okay, yes. It is replacing in place the former configuration for Slack channel by the new one for adding stakeholders. So I'm going to say yes to this. And here, by the way, you can see the output of the JSON encode function. And in our console, switching to the console, if I refresh it, okay, now we are adding as a stakeholder to the major incident response team. Okay, great. This is looking very good. And we're almost done. We only need to send status updates. But before moving on, I would like to do a quick, yes, a quick review of the benefits of using JSON encode, which is the JSON encode function is not related with PagerDuty provider. This is a Terraform function, which allows you to use HCL code to represent a JSON input. Again, we can change this by the following. Let me do the following, which is doing this. JSON. Every time you use here docs on HCL, and also in in bash scripts, you need to put the closing tag without any indentation, because it won't detect the end of the here doc if you put any indentation before the closing tag. This is not like this could be anything like this, anything like this. This could be any word. It is just a tag that which says we start here and end here. That's all. So I can replace this by JSON, as I said, JSON like this, saying ID, and here I will need to use string interpolation, PagerDuty team, major incident team ID, and down here the type, and the type is team. Okay. These two configurations are the same. This is using JSON. This one is using a raw JSON inside the HCL code through JSON here docs. And the one below is this one now commented is using JSON encode. Again, a Terraform function. And if I plan this, I expect this to not show any differences. Terraform plan is showing a difference. Okay, it's showing a difference because I changed the way to write it, but the reference is the same. Look, the ID is the same and the type is the same. But this is the benefit. This is the main benefit. Look at this. If I put a comma here, which is not a valid syntax for JSON, because you can have trailing commas when using JSON, this is what will happen. Terraform plan again. Okay, it didn't say anything. All is working as expected, but let's apply. Yes, after applying, it worked, but let's check the outcome of that. That was with the look at this. This is the add a stakeholders step. Look at what happened. We don't have any stakeholder now because the JSON output was corrupted. So that's why using raw JSONs in your Terraform configuration is disregard. So to solve this, if I only delete this trailing comma, and again apply, and let's do auto approve, that should be fixed. But that is a silent error. I won't notice that if I wasn't looking for it. Look, solved, and that is no. We don't want that in our configuration. So it is much better to rely on the more secure and reliable JSON encode. Because if I add here, look at this. Let me, and in fact, HCL supports trailing commas. Because of that, I have a trailing comma here and nothing is happening. If I say Terraform apply auto approve, and I refresh, I expect this to be the same. It is perfect and without silent errors. Okay, I just wanted to remark that because there are a lot of configurations that shows the use of JSON here docs in the Terraform configuration. I know that when you have um, an already written JSON, it's easier to just use a here doc, but I will use something like that nowadays if that JSON is not meant to be updated in the future. Having said that, I know I must update this because goes um, uh, it is like the opposite that I am suggesting you to do. So getting back to where we were. Okay, here we are still missing the send status update step, which is the fourth step. So in order to do that, let's copy the last step, and it's going to be called send status update. I'm going to copy that and switch to Postman. Look for it. And look at this. Send status updates has 5 matches, which for me means that there are 5 versions of send status updates, at least on this page of the results. So I'm going to move to the last one, and let me check if there are any other. Look at this. Okay, there are no there aren't more like newer versions, because this is the fifth one, and we don't have more pages to list. This is the last page of the results. So I'm going to use this and this step again. I'm going to change the name by, sorry, this one, send status updates. Again, I'll copy the ID from here, change it here, and again, the inputs is required. This is not required, not required. This one is required, and also this one is required. There are 2 required inputs. So I'll grab this and say this input is status update template, and if is of type text, select a template from the list or select a custom message. Again, I'll go ahead and review the product documentation for this. Send status updates. There are available there are some templates available. Status update template. Status update template. I just want to support for liquid. Look at this. I'll copy this and change it here by this. And I think I can escape this like this. I think we can do something like this. No. Interesting. How do I enter this kind of expression on the Terraform code. Let me look for Terraform functions, encoding functions. No, I need a string function, chum format, and then join regex, replace starts with title, print, upper. Format, maybe this. Terraform multi-line string and templates. Here doc. With a here doc. JSON encode. This is a good directive. Yes, look, they are using something similar here. This is a good use case for here docs. Yes, because Terraform doesn't provide you with a decoder for which was the name for liquid. I really don't know what liquid is, but it's a templating language. But Terraform doesn't provide you with a function for liquid templating language. So, well, let me check that out. Terraform liquid templating or something. No, liquid templating engine. No, it seems like Terraform doesn't support. So I'm going to use just here docs. For that, I need to say here liquid. Yes, why not? I'll use liquid like this, and at the end let's put liquid here too, like this. And again, I'll grab this expression. Oops. This. Whenever you want to use the indentation with the Terraform, when using here docs, you need to do something special here. Give me a second. Yes, this. To improve this, Terraform also accepts an indented here doc string variant that is introduced by the sequence minor and a hyphen. So I'll use that because I suspect that liquid is aware of the indentation. So just to avoid any unexpected behavior, I'll put it in using the same indentation. Please, if someone knows if liquid is aware of indentation or is a language which leverage indentation, please let me know. I really don't know. So this, and additionally, we need to we also had an additional required input, which was this one message. I'm going to replace this. Sorry, to reuse this. This is the message. I'll use the same template. Yes, I'll use the same template. So I'm going to say Terraform plan. Okay. Let's send this out. Terraform apply our approve, and let's check the result. Okay, it was applied. Let's refresh this. Send a status updates. The selected template must have a message field. Okay. No. Let me check out this. Back to there and send the status updates. We had a clue of the. Let me go to get some inspiration from the one that I did before. Send status updates. Okay. I'll reuse this for the sake of the time. Sadly, we couldn't use the. No. I'll take a minute and check this out better. It says the selected template must have a message field or contact their admin if you don't have edit permissions. And the description said type to insert fields truncated to 110 characters for SMS. Select the template, edit the template. Oh, this is not very helpful, but okay, we have a field. No, if you select custom message, enter a message to be sent with the request. You may optionally add field reference by to the message by clicking. Okay, let me check the field reference. Incident ID. So I'll go ahead and grab this and put it here. But in addition to that, I'll also add the major incident identified. Teams has been mobilized. Major incident identified. Major incident. Okay, let's put the ID here, and you can put the ID with this. It says that incident title. So I'll put this major incident. Major incident identified. Major incident. No, I believe it's okay like this. Let's try again. Apply our approve. Okay, let's refresh this. I believe this liquid templating that we used here didn't work. So that's why this is failing to add the template to the status update. Well, unfortunately, for the sake of the time, I will only use this. Incident title, uppercase. Yes. I'll replace all this. Yes. So replace this. Also this. Okay, like this. Terraform auto approve. Let's check out the result. Status update template. No, sadly, this is not working. Status update template. I'll edit the workflow just to try to debug this. I'll select custom template. Oh, look at this. Custom template. And here, incident title. Now for email. Let me comment this out. But we sent a status update. I'll comment this and keep this. Status update template. But here, I'll use this. I'll cancel what I was editing here. And no. View last published version. Okay. In order to not introduce differences between what I'm doing with Terraform and what is happening here, remember that we restore this version. Yes, this will revert the builder currently published to the current. Yes. Incident workflows. To have an incident workflow available to be triggered by the services and incidents, you need to make the necessary changes to the workflow, and after that, you will need to publish it. And if you are doing changes in the middle, those changes will be saved in a draft stage. And after that, you must hit the publish version, hit the publish button to have it actually available for to be triggered. So let me apply this again. I'll apply. Because of that, I revert the incident workflow to its previously published version to not having like a difference between this Terraform workspace and what I already had in the PagerDuty account. So I'll refresh this out. And again, send the status updates. No, this is still the select template must have a message field. Let me put a simple message here. I'll remove this. Here, again, the same. because I really want to understand how this can be correctly set up. No, again, we still having issues here. I use the same version before. Yes, send status updates version 5, and here I use send status updates version 5. Send status update, message. But I didn't set this. I used the default one, I guess. So I'm going to apply this. And let's refresh. Needs attention. Give me a second. I'll destroy this, or not this, only the incident workflow one by commenting all this. Terraform apply, because maybe the iteration with the sentence sentence status updates like led us to a corrupt state or something, because I was expecting that to work. Let's uncomment this and I'll apply it again. What's happening? Okay, there we go. Okay, again, automation, mobilize, action, incident workflows. We have our incident workflow here. Triggers, manual trigger, add responder. No, again, it says that needs attention. Needs attention. Required. These are the only two required ones. Okay. Let's try again with the Postman. We already have sent the status updates, message, SMS, but we need type text. Required is hidden advanced files. Status update template. This is the template. Oh, I'll do again the same. I'll follow again the reversed approach to know what is need to be put it here, because I really don't get it. So what I'll do will be edit the workflow. I'll select the template here for the message. I wanted to use this. However, oh, sorry about that. This is, yes, this one, but I wanted to use incident title like this. This for the status update is an invalid field. Oh, look at that. no matching fields found. No, it looks like there aren't any fields available for SMS. How do I save this? No, cancel. I can save this. Give me a second. It's attention. Custom message. This is acting funny because I should be able to save this. Major incident identified. Teams has been mobilized. Remove. Cancel. Why I can't? Maybe isn't the action version, which is not being supported by the UI. So let me check the previous one. Required true. Well, to confirm that, I need to remove this action and add the action again of send the status updates. Add the action. Here, put in this, hit save. Okay, publish the changes. Yes, publish them. Down here, run a Terraform plan. Okay. This is the difference. The ID is the same, but the status, oh, look at that. Status update default. Oh, look at this. Status update default. Status, let me check the Postman. We don't have any documentation regarding that, as far as I know. Let me look here. No, we don't. No. Oh, look at that. So, look what I'm going to do. The change was in sent the status update, and the input for name status update template. Okay, so I'm going to change this by status update template, and here is status. Oh, I already have it here. Status update the default. In order, I'm going to comment this here because it's very useful. In order to select the default template for incident for this action, enter, use this this value like this. Again, let's run a plan, Terraform plan. Okay, what's the difference? Okay, this change because we republish this through the UI, and this created new triggers. But what we need to do is just to have a clean state. I'll go ahead and yes, I'll go ahead and delete this. We don't have any incident workflow, and I'll remove this state from my Terraform state. So Terraform state list, Terraform state list, and I'm going to filter by the workflow. We have all this, so I'm going to now remove all this. So with XRs and Terraform state RM, all the state has been removed, and we can now say Terraform apply, and this should show me only the resources regarding the incident workflow, which are major incident workflow, all the steps for adding responder, add stakeholder, create a Slack channel, send the status updates, and the triggers, the manual and the conditional one. So I'm going to say yes to that. Okay, we should be able to see a clean output here in the PagerDuty console about our major incidents workflow. Let me check that out. Great. Awesome. We now have this settled, and the add responders is adding the major incident escalation policy, the as stakeholders, the major incident response team, my already set up Slack integration for the PagerDuty workspace, and again, the send status update. Give me a second. So before wrapping up, I'll go ahead and create a new incident on the DB service TF local. This service is being managed by Terraform. We just create this with the same Terraform configuration that we are using. So I'm going to create an event, an incident here. Incident during Terraform time. I'm going to add the priority of P1 without any responders, additional responders, and conferences breach. Yes, so create incident. Okay, this is a P1 on the timeline. Incident workflow. Okay, look at this. Incident workflow, major incident workflow started via conditional trigger. This is what we want. Okay. Look at this. ID or type is missing. Incident workflow major incident completed with errors. Error 1, ID or type is missing. Error 2, ID or type is missing on successful call to send status update. Mm, failed to add the channel. There are some errors here because of that. Oh no, but it create the channel and the responder is this. Impact the service. Okay, we have incident workflow working. There are still a few issues here that I will need to check out. We can maybe check later and solve it later. But for the sake of the time, we need to wrap up. So incident solved. And with this, we are now able to destroy this configuration, Terraform, destroy, auto approve. Before wrapping up, I'd like to do a quick reminder about our weekly stream schedule, which is on every Wednesday at 4 p.m., 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. East time, and 1 p.m. Pacific. So I look forward to see you next week. Bye-bye.